Hello and welcome. My name is Tristan, and this is Space Age. So well, the intention of this is to go through a few of the questions that I felt were probably better answered just by doing it on the live stream rather than in the video. As it turned out, the video, well, I wasn't massively happy with the actual quality of the video. Basically, I recorded the, me doing the answers, and I wanted to have some background, obviously, and I thought it was just quicker because I was running out of time to have the game playing in the background. But I forgot to turn the sound off. I turned it off in my, my speakers, but not the actual record. So all the background, so the game background audio is in there, and there's some bits I don't think you can hear me. People are saying it's not bad, but I thought it was awful, so I want to re-record that. I also haven't actually done the other questions, but there were certainly some that when I was going through them, that it was like, well, probably best if we just do this on a live stream because it would be just this weird section in the video of me sort of showing some things. This is going to get a bit complicated because I don't want to show too much spoilers-wise. They have actually made some and then fires up a thing by accident that probably a massive spoiler. So yeah, we flip into a spoiler screen. This is a change, this. You didn't actually used to go on the platforms. You were just this disembodied camera, effectively, and it showed both. I mean, because remote view, it's like this anyway. But when you, went there, flew up there, you weren't on the platform, and now you are. You're an actual thing on the platform. And I believe you can take damage. This platform is in orbit around Nauvis, so we're basically safe. This is... When I was saying in the video, in fact, no, I don't think this bit was in this first video, but they make a lot of noise. These are just the chunks, so these are not dangerous. But when they hit the platform, they make a hell of a noise. And I initially thought, it's this horrendously hazardous place, and but now this orbit is completely safe. You can just build there and not worry about your platforms getting damaged. Yes, so the first one that I might launch off with was around key bindings. Well, the other thing, this literally happened pretty sure today, but they're now not tungsten belts. The green ones, the new level of belts, were called tungsten belts when we started playing in the LAN. They're now turbo belts, which I think is a really good name, but it was kind of voted on in the Discord. They've set up a Discord for the beta testers. And I do want to also mention that there seems to be a lot of people moaning on Reddit in particular about, content creators have got early access and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, they have, but the content creators for the last month have been beta testers. They've been submitting bug reports and, because you're getting people then who are playing hundreds and hundreds of hours of the game. Literally, some of them. The purpose has been beta testing, really. Hello, Luke Longworth and Tobias K, Gleotic, and welcome all. So, from New Zealand, crikey, I didn't know you were all the way over there, Luke Longworth. But yes, welcome all. Got two from Tungsten still. yeah, it makes sense from that point of view. But yes, it was literally, I think, today. And it's one of the things I can show. I could probably show the patch notes. The trouble with showing the patch notes and some of these things is they are spoilery, so I will give very adequate warnings. And I have a special screen I flip to that when I'm loading things up. But yes, I thought the first one that would be fairly safe would be going through hotkeys, because someone asked were there any new hotkeys and bindings. And we should just be able to bring that up. But just to be safe, I will pop on also to show you, my super special, didn't just throw it together in 20 seconds before the stream, OMG spoilers page. There probably aren't spoilers, but as I say, it's best if I just keep that going. So we would be going into controls. There we go. So I'm just going to scroll through them and say this is why I didn't put it in the video, because I can't really see this being particularly interesting. We'll see if we can spot anything there. So obviously you've got your movement controls, so just your usual WASD. And then E's still open the character screen, open objects GUI, mining, So there's Super Force build. So confirmation it's on Control-Shift-Click, which is what they said in the Friday Effects when they mentioned it. I suppose I should also mention I'm intending to limit this to 2 hours. So I'm not actually intending to go for 2 hours because I need to edit the next part of the Let's Play. But if we get to 8 o'clock, basically, then I'll kind of just kill it off. But yeah, so Super Force build is obviously a new one, new binding on that. You've still got your pipette and cursor on Q. Anything else there? Oh, there you go. So this was one I was mentioned in the in that first Q&A video, that flip horizontal and flip vertical are H and V, which I think is a good mapping because obviously that's what you're doing. You're flipping horizontal and vertical, and it's because they've become active in the actual game. So when you're playing, if you have your cursor on something and you hit H, it does a horizontal flip on it, where it only used to apply to blueprints. So that's why, because F is still mapped to picking this stuff up. Got some more people here. Cool. What's going on there? Oh, it's just I'll switch the windows. Hello, John Lewis. How you doing? And Rhett, welcome. Thurl. Hello. I decided to embrace the spoilers at this point. I feel like I might explode otherwise from anticipation from Space Age. I have been commenting before. I don't quite get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. I mean, I get not wanting spoilers, but it's such a mechanical game. You know, it's such a systems-based game that, like, knowing there are, you know, this or pentapods or something in the game, you know, I suppose there's a surprise to that, but it's more to me how you kill them and what you get out of them, and you know how to fight them and how to defend against them, and that's interesting. And I can fully see not wanting to watch streams where they explain all that stuff, but are they not easy to avoid? You know, but so that's just me. I mean, I appreciate other people do, and I have been tried to be as sort of respectful of that viewpoint as I can with the content, and not show it off without giving plenty of warning, sort of thing. But yeah, for me personally, it's like, you know, I mean, I've been watching some of the videos, and some of the stuff is new on me, so you know. I had no self-control and looked at everything yesterday. Oops. I don't think I have regrets. Friday Facts revealed so much already. Yeah, a lot of it has been in Friday Facts. But there are little bits and pieces. Hello, Tobias K. I didn't say hello already. Spoilers. Oh, it's on the screen. Can you scroll through the controller across to? Yes, I'll do that in a second. JD also spread spoilers. Oh, have I typoed it as well? Oh dear. Funny Factorio is the problem solving. I want to know what problems I will be solving next week. Exactly, yeah. So that to me is the fun bit. And so I fully understand, you know, not watching these, well, like Troopin did his 24-hour stream or what have you. I fully get that. That makes sense to me, because you don't want to be polluted by other people's solution. But I say, knowing this pentapod's in is like, okay, how do I kill them? And there you go. So shoot selected is the shift spacebar, and C is now next weapon, where it used to be tab, and I keep dying because of that. I saw people's comments on the video, and I see, you know, I do get, you know, making it consistent with other games, but I don't know. I'm so used to hitting those keys that I'm struggling to not do it. Rail layer. So this is a new binding, toggle G, because you obviously have to go up and down with the elevated rails. So that's basically how you switch between the two levels. So if you're just randomly building a bit of higher level track, you simply use the G key to switch between the levels. I will be honest, and it might be because Rail Planner I still find janky. The building at a second level is a bit sort of, it feels like really you want to do it with blueprints, you know, you want to get yourself some blueprints and use that, because the problem is it doesn't know, because there aren't proper levels in the game, they faked it, you know. It doesn't know which piece of, you know, if you've got lots of rail going across, you know, you're at a junction and you're like, right, well, I want to add to the elevated rail, and you sort of click on it and it'll select the rail beneath it because it thinks that's what you're trying to do. So yeah, it's a little bit janky, and I don't think there's anything they can do about that. That's just the nature of, you know, they forced a 3D thing into a 2D game. So yeah, blueprinting. Oh, I was going to close them down as we go through them, and I say we will go quickly through the controller ones as well. Selecting the blueprints, deconstruction, cancel, these sorts of things are pretty much the same, I think, aren't they? You got your scroll wheel to roll through your blueprints. It's all still the same. Focus search, yeah, Control F. So searching works in just about anything, and it's really useful. I've been in some of the menus. I'm not even searching through. I'm just literally going Control F, Control F, Control F. So that is a really useful addition. Control F and everything. Yeah, your numpad for doing the thing. Oh yeah, and obviously you got your rename all. This is a function they added in if you have messed up your naming, basically. So you can Control left click on something and it'll select all, basically. What else we got? Dragging the map. Tags. Oh yes, tag movie. I was going to show that off. I've not actually shown it in my Let's Play, recorded stuff. Moving tags in maps is like, it's just like, you know, it feels like they've added a completely new system. Tags are now just really, really nice, you know, to use. It was, and they might have changed it, it was a little clunky how you actually move them. It's like multiple presses to it. But then somebody pointed out there's a key binding that should be in here. Where is it? Place a tag in chat, move tag. Yeah, so that's interesting. It just says left click. Because it was that you had to press Alt in order to, because you can just drag. No, Alt was copy, and I think it's Shift. So Shift left click, that you just move it. Because at the moment you click in and there's a button, and it's like a move button, you know. I could show that if you like. I mean, we can jump in. Activate tooltip. Select next surface. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything. Oh yes, having these is fairly useful as well. Because in order to do anything, if you want to sort of select a quality level, you have to go through that additional menu that's on the drop down. And so we've done through the advanced interaction. We then got the, you know, crafting is basically the same. 1, 5, all, you know, button clicks. Inventory, was there anything in there that's changed? I don't think so. Splitting your cursor, filtering. No, so I don't think there's anything new at all in the inventory, but you might have spotted something in there. Shout if you did. And now obviously your quick bar is still your flicking between them, and you know they're still on there. Quick bar's probably more useful now because of, or more required. I've basically stopped using it, but this thing I was mentioning, that when you're in the remote view, E doesn't open your menu, it opens this ghost picker thing. So if you want quick access to a blueprint and you're already in the map view, having them on your quick bars is like really useful. I'll come back to the questions and stuff in the chat in a second. We'll just finish this off. Then we got your tools, which you copy, you paste. You know, I don't think there's anything new there. Artillery targeting. Yes, but so one of the things you probably don't know is that the FPS remote has been renamed back to the artillery remote, or whatever it's called. I can't remember what the proper term is, but whatever it used to be, it's now back to the other one, because I'm not entirely. I mean, I think they tried. Then it might have been a bit of a. Well, let's give generic names to things. You know, particularly if you're talking about mods, that having a generic RTS tool is probably more appropriate for them. There you go, Spidertron remote. It's back to being Spidertron remote, and the artillery was always artillery, but the Spidertron remote is what they've renamed. So that was RTS control or whatever, and we were all I was speculating about why, and it was just, you know, I think they're just going for generic naming conventions. It's back to being the Spidertron remote, and that thing that also then obviously tells you there is nothing else you can control with it, basically. Copper wire, yeah. So obviously there's the wire changes. I really like that change, because messing about with having wire and having to build one if you didn't have one, and if you've not got any copper, you can't make a red wire or what have you. It's literally just on the task, you know, on the bar, and you've got infinite of it. You know, you just use them basically. Blueprint books. So I don't think there's anything different on there. So that was all the tools. Then the panels. You got your logistics. Crafting, obviously your stats and your train overview and all that sort of stuff. Factoriopedia, yeah, so basically anything, and I mean anything, if you alt left click on it, it'll take you to Factoriopedia and the entry in it, and then you can navigate around. So just literally, if you don't know anything or what have you, then quick click, alt left click, off you go to Factoriopedia. And again, and this guy, I say that if you don't want spoilers, then don't use that. It's all just there, because they're not really thought about it in that way. And then obviously your Misc controls. There's probably something here that's new. Feedback form. Oh yeah, I don't know if this is staying permanently, but the feedback form is still in the game. This is the release candidate now. This is not the beta version. It had a special button for the F10, but I don't know if that. And you probably tell me that this has always been there, the feedback form. But yeah, this is how we've been submitting bug reports and suggestions and that sort of thing. And as I say, we weren't just content creators given access. We were made to work for our thing. And no one's been paid to my best of my knowledge either. So I think there's some prejudices that people have just bubbling up in the Factorio stuff as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you'd have the option, as it says here, for music controls. I don't think we ever had that, but again, I never really even looked. But you can move through the music tracks with. You have to set the buttons. You don't have them by default. But yeah, you can have music tracks scrolling now. Somebody asked on the questions, we'll get around to it, about had I noticed any of the the little sort of improv-y bit and no, basically they're so seamless and so well integrated into it, you can't really tell that it's like this extra little bit that it's doing at the beginning. It's incredibly well done. And so it does work, my problem with it is I don't really like the Volgora music. It's mostly not my cup of tea. I'd say that might go the F10. That might not actually be in the final, but it's in the release candidate. So that's the miscellaneous. The editor. I'm not sure what it means by next variation, but that's obviously when you've opened the map mode. Maybe that means switching between quality levels, basically. But yes, this is just the editor mode. I don't tend to use this one. I've generally used the what's it called? The the mod basically that is editor, and then debug stuff. So you can have a look at that if that's something you're particularly interested in. So let's have a flip to the controller stuff. I will just quickly look at chat. Does the wait a minute sec? Oh crikey, you've been asking loads of stuff. Sorry. Fine, cool. So hello, Funny Duck. Can you scroll through the controllers too? Yeah, I will just go through those in a sec. I say apologies if it's not apologies. It's quite funny if it's misspelled spoilers. There is a discovery. Yeah, I think I saw that bit. Are there any new trains? No, there's no new trains at all. And they're not even variations on trains. They're just exactly as you've always had them. The only thing they've done is obviously they made it so that they can go up and down. So there are new sprites basically for going up and down the rails. Two of them was what I consider spoiler-free. Even a Factorio spoiler to me, it's a fully optimized build that I can hardly optimize troops and doesn't do that. No, I think troops are a bit more like me, just what I would call a normal player, but it's been at it for hundreds and thousands of hours. Because optimization is not really my cup of tea either. I'm curious. Hello, Rocketman Chronicles. I'm curious how the logistics work with moving items between planets. Just load a platform and go, or are there auto inter-platform logistics? So I can partly answer that. That's what one of my second videos is really going to talk about platform logistics. You cannot transfer things between platforms because you cannot set one platform as the destination for another platform. So if you are looking to transfer things between platforms, then you need to do it via a planet, basically. So that is one thing I can just quickly clarify. But the thing I would say is, and I can't really convey this, as it were, without showing it in game, but it doesn't take a long time to travel between the planets. It's not like an hour journey and stuff like that. There is a element where time is more significant, and that's all I'll say about that. But if you're traveling between, Nauvis and Volcanus, it's a few minutes. It's that sort of length of journey. Think a train travelling across your base type timescales. That's what they've gone for. Now, obviously, you get, you can put more rocket, the thrusters on it. You can have a bigger platform so it weighs more, so it's slower. So that's not a fixed thing. But basically, the time between them is, not significant. So this is where the spoiler thing is, it's not actually that bad, because if you're moving things around the system, as a general rule, the spoilage times of a couple of hours are not, there's a fly in there, are not actually that problematic, because, it's not like, there are things that spoil really quickly, so I'm not saying it's not a problem at all, but if you're sticking them on a, science packs on a platform, moving them to a different planet, you don't really have to worry about them becoming useless by the end, sort of thing. It's that sort of scale of thing. But I can talk about the proper setting up the logistics. I will be honest, and it's clunky. It's something you're going to have to get used to. So I might get confused by use item on right click. Yeah, if that was in the combat, that's quite confusing. So I didn't see that in there, but right click is now like use an item. So if you want to throw a grenade or throw a capsule or launch a bot or what have you, you have to right click on it rather than left click. I actually quite like that one because it's a bit more deliberate, whereas it's quite easy to just blow yourself up with a grenade at the moment, and it's a little bit more deliberate now. Let's see what's going on with Twitch. I haven't said anything. Hello to anyone there. Hello, Asky Raven. How you doing? Hope you're well. And Solden85. Hello. What is the footprint of the biolab? The biolab is 5x5, I think. Ooh. No, it must be 4x4. They're all square, apart from like the turret and like the recycler, basically. They're all square buildings. I think it's 4x4. We could probably have a look, but I can't do it on this screen just yet. Or at least assume it is. It's not actually in the game. It's 5x5, I think. It's not actually in the game. It's still the, or it wasn't. Maybe it's gone in this version, but it's still the spawner, the artificial spawner that they're calling a biolab. So the graphics aren't in there yet. But it's just graphics. It's not, functionally, it's all doing what they say. Actually, maybe they were testing to control tanks as well with that remote. That's why it was RTS remote for a time. But for a remote control tank, it's kind of implied they were able to shoot on their own. And that might have been either too much OP or too dangerous, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it could have been, yeah. I mean, also tank controls are difficult to, because you could easily, a tank has, I mean, I suppose it can turn on the spot, but if it's moving, it has a turning radius, unlike the Spidertron can literally turn on the spot. So if it's moving along and you started giving it controls, it would start trying to orbit. You do that thing where it orbits because it's trying to move. It would need to know to stop, turn, move, and that's quite complicated to program. So if they were trying to control them, I understand why they gave it up. Variations of tree or stone, for example, just variations of the environmental stuff. Yes, for the controls, it must be. Yeah. So I don't really use the editor on this. Hello, LMTO. Evening, chaps, chapettes. Hope you're doing well. So same size as spawner. Yes. No. You mean the normal spawners that are only 3x3, but the artificial ones were bigger. I think it's synthetic spawners, I think is the proper name. But they do tend to use these like terms that mean the same thing quite a lot and sort of reuse them. Right, so let's just quickly go through the controller controls. They don't mean a lot to me, basically, but you've obviously got your left and right. I assume these will apply for Switch as well. I don't know. Obviously don't have a Switch. So these are all the button mappings. I'll just assume. I think maybe that's because I've got an Xbox controller somewhere plugged in, but they seem to look like Xbox controls really. Advanced interaction. I say I'll just sort of pause, and if you want to go back to the thing and look at what's on there, then feel free. So next surface, and I say we'll have a quick look at the biolab. I can just spawn one in. Or as I say, well, we can actually see if it's actually switched in now. So that's crafting. Then you've got your inventory controls. I assume most things end up with a mapping. Quick panel. I assume that must be something you can, that's just for controllers, quick panel. I don't recall a quick panel. And then your tools. What the heck is P1? Interesting. I can't imagine playing this game with a controller. It's in that RTS territory, isn't it? Of there's a million shortcuts. Because these are all just variations on clicking exactly the same buttons in a different configuration. And then the Misc. Oh, you can even use the editor, although not a lot of it seems to be set. Interesting. And then your debug. I say, if you're particularly interested in those, absolutely nothing there, then feel free to go back, pause, etc., etc. Oh, did I change something? I guess. Just clicking around, I guess. Oh. I could show you. This might be. In fact, let's put it on the. What typo have I made then on? Oh, spoliers. That's brilliant. So if I get up, no, I don't do that, do I? Do I press? No. So things. Don't I press that? No. I always forget what the button is for. Advanced settings. No? What is it then? Oh, there we go. Control Alt. So there's the rest, as it were. I've never done that. So there are additional settings in the game, which you can access via, as it turns out, Control Alt and then clicking on the thing. Let's pop it back on. So, if you go, see where it's got settings, that's the normal list. And if you go Control Alt, hold them, hit settings, then you get the rest. Okay, so I guess, oh, warning, don't change it. Yeah, so I guess there's a distinct possibility there might be a reference to something in here that is a spoiler. So I guess look away and listen away if you are. So that's probably going to be the nature of this stream. I'm not going to be obviously able to edit it, so I might accidentally click on something. There was something in here I wanted to specifically show, and I cannot for the life of me. Oh, it was the music thing, wasn't it? Music controls. Here we go, sound settings. So, privacy voice. There you go. The ambient music mode, you see, interlude main tracks with interludes. And you can have just the main tracks only. So this is if you are worried or you find these interlude bits, that's what they call the extra little bits, you can turn them off, basically. So, you know, it's just go into that extra menus and go main tracks only. Yeah. I believe the soundtrack is going to be made available as an additional purchase again as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if that comes afterwards. They're probably not thinking about that. Was there anything else on here? Yeah, if you've never been in these, they're very technical, and you got like Linux settings and all sorts of stuff. It's like almost like the dumping ground for extra things. I still haven't found the way of looking at the watch, and I could show you the F as well. So if we wanted to go, oh, why did that not work? Oh, because it's a setting. Was it called? What's it called? I was looking at the options. In the options rather than that. Ambient, there we go. So if I do that, you see, and it already does this, I think, on there, but it literally does this on all of everything now, and it's really awesome. And yet you can set some of the settings and all that sort of stuff. So there. So if you've never seen the extra settings, then that's them. Let's see if I can catch up with chat. I don't think so. Hello, Kusala Cooper Coop. I thought I was going to get that right then. Welcome. How you doing? My question, is it possible to do space platforms well without circuit networks? Yes, it's entirely possible. How you control platforms is, I say, what's going to partly be in my Q&A vid too. But yes, they don't use circuit networks at all, really. They are useful. You know, it's a thing that's, you know, a useful thing on a platform. But yeah, and you cannot. Well, they might change this, but at the time of the LAN, you couldn't actually control platforms in terms of like signals from planets with circuit networks. It's just not in the game. You can't send them signals, basically. You can have them have wait conditions that are based on things that could have, do you know what I mean? As in, you could have some circuit condition going on and, you know, the platform is waiting on that condition. You can do that sort of thing. But in terms of having, you know, a radar transmit a signal to a platform, you can't do it, basically. So yeah, it was something that Nilhouse actually literally very first day, I think, was like, why can't you do this? And they basically said, because we don't use it, and so we hadn't thought about it. But yeah. Goose is fine, we're doing well, thank you. Good. At the end of 24, I'm picking on Twitch because there's only a few things on there, so I can keep up. Elemento, at the end of says, at the end of Troopin's 24-hour stream, he interviewed a dev. I was at the end, I thought, well, I know, did he start with the interview as well? Interesting if there's two of them. And Dev said they were changing us how soon you get the heat tower. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. They are doing quite a lot of balancing stuff. That's quite a lot of the changes that are going on. Is there a way to transmit signals between planets? No. So again, it's just not something I think they've ever done or like played with in that way. I can probably tell you that. So one of the things that was interesting is, and I did say this, I think, in my Let's Play, so I'll probably be saying it there, is the game is kind of built for Kovarex. And I know that's almost like an incredibly obvious thing to say because he's the owner of the company, he started it, you know, his design, etc., etc. But he's effectively got this army of devs and artists and stuff building him his personal game. And then it's just this like massive coincidence in a way that we all love it and play it and, you know, fund the company essentially. So if he doesn't play in a particular way, then, you know, unless it occurs to one of the others, it's sort of, do you know what I mean? It's like, because it's his, you know, it's his design effectively, his thoughts and his like approval on everything. If he's not sort of thought of something, you know, because the devs are kind of, in a sense, I mean, it's very much more interactive than I'm playing in there. But, you know, if they propose things to him and if he doesn't agree or he thinks it's not, you know, not worth putting in sort of thing, then it doesn't go in. And so it's obvious in a sense. But I was struck by how very fixed it is. So when they do play, you know, a lot of the play testing is Kovarex, you know. So in a sense, it's been play tested for his style. And a lot of this extra stuff that like almost kind of gets added in is clearly as the game has just existed in this early access. People have kind of suggested something maybe, and it's sparked an idea or made someone suggest something or something like that. Do you see what I mean? So it's effectively, you know, it's not, it's some, because obviously, you know, a lot of games that you have multiple designers on them effectively. So you've got the, you know, the narrative designer and the system designer and that sort of thing. And of course this doesn't really, because it's a very small indie studio, but it always feels like a much bigger game than just a small group of people could deliver, you know. As you know, and as I say, in a sense, if you think, you know, Stardew Valley, you know, Concerned Ape, but he's effectively a solo dev, and so it's fully understandable. But it's like a solo dev having a team of artists and, you know, developers and all that sort of stuff building the game for him, which, you know, it just very struck me that was, you know, still how it was sort of thing, and it's quite a position to be in, isn't it? Going, I want this put in the game, and, you know, an army of people go away and put it in for you. So no signals between planets. But I'm worried about my belts being jammed up with the wrong stuff. Yeah, that is a real. You have to manage belts really well. But always remember, you can chuck everything off the side. So what you really need to be setting up is systems for you just to throw things away. You have to think of the asteroid chunks. They're very much an infinite and disposable resource. You know, don't think you need to save them up. You know, get rid of them. If you know, having like one in stock is all you need, so that you've got one to use, type of thing. You know, you don't need to be, you know, filling your inventory like you would for Iron Plate or something like that, because you literally will get tens of thousands of these things just thrown at you for free. So what you need to set up is systems for just throwing everything overboard, basically. If you don't need it, get rid of it. You started an ending with an interview. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that bit out then, because I only dipped in and out. I was supposed to be working, so... sorry, I need to catch up with YouTube as well, don't I? That's a certain recipe assembler. Use item. How is the structure of the forest cliff stones? Any less obnoxious to build, drive around? Shall I show you the map gen screen? So I'm not going to show you the map gen screen because it technically has spoilers. But what I can do is I can show you the actual maps it generates because I can move the windows around. So I would do that. We shall... wait, wrong thing. There we go. Spoliers. Can't believe I did that. It's because I threw it together in 5 minutes. So I might as well just save that. Hang on. So let me just flip over. If I load up... No, if I go back to the menu... I can't... One of the reasons I'm doing this is if you're not happy with spoilers and stuff, the animations that play... I know someone put a mod on Reddit. The animations, those background animations, there's spoilers on them. So, I say, if you really are bothered about, I don't want to see anything, then, yeah, that will... I need to do this carefully because it'll be in the background. Let's just do it there. Oh, no, wait. We got one of the spoilery ones. And so I'm sort of assuming you're pretty much happy with it because it's going to be very difficult for me to avoid it. But right, we should be safe. Oh, actually, I can't. Maybe... Huh. So it might be in the background. As I say, it might just pop up. I don't know. Obviously, don't mind showing you the map generation screen, but yeah. Could I put something across it? Maybe I could. You see what I mean? So on the right there. In fact, maybe if I do that, and then can I get? If I just put some weird, like, and then I do that, would that work? No, that didn't work. So what could I put over the top there? I'm just trying to think of something I can sort of cover it over with. Or actually, what I can do, I'm being dumb. I can just move it across there. Look. There you go. So that's horrible, obviously framing. But yeah, so this is obviously the map gen screen. And if we just do a few random seeds. So first off, you're getting really big lakes on some of these. They're effectively like seas, and you get little islands. And if you look at this, it's not a particularly good example, actually. No, I don't like that one. Here you go. So if you look here in the middle, I don't know if you can see my cursor, you've got like a valley, and it leads into a lake. So you could imagine this being some watercourse, where it's dug out the sides of the river and it's formed a lake, and that lake has connected these two bits of sea, and there used to be a river down here, look, and that, it's dried up, and that's why it's just a lake in the middle of this rather than the continuous sea. Or here, look, there's quite a good path, a couple of paths, and then, oh, look, that's quite a good one, that there. So I'm hoping you can all see my cursor, but it's the actual, it looks like a sort of a path that a river would have cut, and the trees aren't so brilliant on that one. Let's see if we can get a good one. It does always seem to like err towards desert maps as well. And one of my tips is don't play on a desert map first time, because you want to not evolve your biters on your first go, I would say, when you're not sure about them. You can also look at the uranium. People are asking about the uranium. And there are other uses for uranium, but they got rid of the space science in space, which used it. So yeah, you are getting quite a few patches of uranium. I don't know whether people regard this as, too much or not, but it is a bit more random. So that one there, look, that only seems to have one uranium close to the start, and then that's it. So maybe you can roll for a seed that isn't. Here's a good one, look. So you've got a path going across here, and some sort of path going across here, and then you've got a thing here. And you notice how the cliffs are like a bit more useful in a general sense. You are getting some that are probably you'd want to take out. But here, look. Yeah, so you could wall off there, wall off there. There's probably a couple of gaps in it, and you're sorted. So you don't need to wall across this. You can do it with the, you know, with the cliffs basically. And obviously the biters can't go across the cliffs. So it's like I really like the new map gen, and particularly when you're driving around. I say we're not getting a nice grasslands on it for me to show you, but when you're driving around and like exploring, I say it still goes heavily towards deserts for some reason. There's a nice little valley, look. Yeah. Leads up to an oil thing, you know. And it's just much more characterful, you know, and a bit more varied, and doesn't look like just a noise function that's had a filter put in it. So, yeah, what you get with the trees is nice little paths through the trees, and you can like go through them, and you know, when you're exploring around, as I say, particularly in the car, you actually end up following them, and you'll be barreling down this like tree-lined avenue, and suddenly there's a load of biter nests, you know, at the end of it, and you sort of, you know, panic and turn around sort of thing, and it just feels a lot more like real and realistic. I was going to start one of them up. Here we go. That's quite a bit more treey. Yeah, if we start this, we should be okay. I'm going to put it on the, what was it, Spoliers, just in case. I don't think it shows you anything new. Let's get out of that. So, put that back again. And then let's move that into place. Okay. Yeah, as I say, there used to be an F10 button up here. That's gone. So I don't know how I like it, but here you go. So here's a sort of a bit more of a tree-lined entry point, you know, and you could imagine, you know, because this is absorbing pollution, this is where the biters are probably going to funnel through, and they do seem to like follow the, you know, part of their algorithm is to tend to avoid forests, so they do end up funneling through here, and this is almost like a natural cliffs. But I was going to go and see if you do also get more sort of boulder fields like this. I don't remember things like that in the game before. Unfortunately, that's, I think, Arundel's space exploration thing coming out a bit, because obviously that's a bit annoying as well. Although obviously you don't get random things. There you go. So it's just a little gap in the cliff. And you could imagine putting, you know, a little thing of turrets across here to, like, you know, wall yourself off, as it were, a bit. And then it's nice distance here where you don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about them. And it's not going across a resource patch and all sorts of, you know, horrible things that it used to do. There's actually quite a nice tree path up here. Let's go and see this, and then I'll see if I can catch up with chat again. I'm lagging behind on this. You might have to stop asking questions. Here you go. So these are more like... Doesn't that feel more like an actual forest? To me, I mean, to me it does. But that feels like, you know, this is a clearing in a forest. Look. And this is a path through the trees. And so you may give absolutely no flips about, you know, the aesthetics of it. But to me it looks really good. And from playing it, it's also better to play on, you know. Yeah, look at it. It looks more like... I say this is quite heavy with the rocks. And here you go. Here's another one. This would be quite a good one to wall off, because you've got water on the side here. So you just put a wall across there. Just a little one. Fill that gap in there. You could ignore that bit of cliff, I guess. But, you know, across there. And then you've just claimed you know, you've got yourself a nice choke point, you know. And this cliff goes all the way up here. There might well be you often get tiny little gaps in them. And that's quite a long cliff, actually. But here, and this also doesn't this look like something you'd actually get in the real world, where you've got a cliff, and there's trees on top of the cliff, and then there's not really any trees at the bottom of the cliff. You know, it just feels a lot more naturalistic to me. I'm blathering on about it, but it's because somebody asked what my favourite feature is in the game and the thing, and basically, well, I can't really do it without any blueprints or anything, can I? I wonder if I could. I think it should be alright. But yeah, so where is he? So obviously you got your build, but then you got your super force build across. Oh, we're never near water, are we? Let's go across there. So Angry Ghost Guy is my favourite little thing. Yeah, the icon on that. In fact, I can just show you in here, can't I? If I go, where would he be? If I, no, I'm just trying to think, because if I start opening menus and stuff, you'll see all sorts of stuff that's probably not appropriate to see. Certain. So I heard you can search for a certain recipe assembly. Yeah, so searching for. I mean, obviously I don't have them unlocked. There's fewer things that are auto unlocked. So radars, for example, you have to search. But if we search, I don't know why it'd be available now. So yeah, you can do if you just do belt and stuff like that, then it will just go to whatever you. And obviously you've got multiple options for what you got on the map, of course. If we want to highlight iron, then there's your iron. And you can pin it. It's all super easy to pin. Yeah, like that. And then you've got, if we cancel out that, then we got that iron ore. So if we wanted to go and do that iron ore, and that takes you straight to it. I don't know if you can zoom it in and out on that view. It's actually quite big because that's quite a sizable, in terms of size, thing. Tags, I was going to quickly show you tags, wasn't it? So if we just add a tag. Oh, I've probably shown you stuff I shouldn't have shown you there. Let's tag it with the Spidertron. That's the problem, you see, because it's not designed around spoilers. What's it? So if I go, nope, oh, gold. Yes, so if you hold down shift, basically, you sort of pick it up. Yeah, so this is the button. That is the same thing. You just move the tag. So one thing I saw people doing at the LAN party was obviously if this is a proper body of water, they're essentially creating themselves a to-do list. Oh, I can't do it in the fog of war. But if you just put them in a list there and you can move them around then in the listing. And obviously if it's over a boulder of water, it's not obscuring anything. That was quite a clever idea, I thought. And it allows you, say, to rearrange the order. But yeah, just hold down shift to move them around. And this is the amazing thing. If you just do Q on them, yeah, you can copy paste. I wonder if you can if you hold down shift. No, hold down control maybe. Oh no. All right. Oh crikey. So you have to apologize. If you see something by accident, I'm afraid you've kind of had a little bit of a warning there. Yeah. So Army of Spidertrons on there just from hitting control. Hitting Q. Sorry. It's just awesome now. What else we got? One thing I'm disappointed with is to see no new graphics updates or upgrades for assembly machines. It looks so out of place now. I don't have a problem with it. I do appreciate some people don't like it. I do think it is a bit simple, but I don't know. It's the assembly machine to me. I'm missing all the follows and stuff as well, isn't I? Thank you very much for the follow, Jorvan. Very kind. Plays with the hydrate. Thank you, really. Thank you very much, buddy. Lucko768, thank you for the follow. And Kusa for the follow. Garapop, thank you for the follow as well. Oh, that was yesterday. Yesterday. I wasn't streaming then. An interim one. And Bite of Milk Dev. I think that was when I was streaming. Cool. So what else we got? Just a quick one on jamming. Do quality space hubs do anything? I think they have bigger inventory. I could load up that save file and we can have a sort of a check. But actually, no, what I'll do, I'll pop it onto, because Factoriopedia tells you basically all of this stuff. So if I pop it onto the screen capture 2, and then we go, if I pop up Factoriopedia, choose, I'm in the wrong menu, sorry. So if we go, I think it tells you anyway. It tells you what's improved by whatchamacallit, by quality. So if I look for platform, they do it does something for all of them, but a lot of the time it's just space platform hub. So it looks like it only improves the health, basically. But it doesn't say. I wonder if... It doesn't do anything for platforms, I'm pretty sure. There is no... It lets you build them, but it doesn't do anything, I don't believe. Is that right? Space platform. There's a surface. Yeah, I don't think that has any effect on them, basically. We could also go and have a look, maybe. Could I do that? I'm not sure in that, say, both of them. I didn't want to show you that, because if I go in Factoriopedia, it'll just show you everything. So I've done that secretly. So that's a quality. No, it doesn't improve the space at all. So, yeah, so I can show you this, I think. So this is obviously this is a legendary quality space platform, and you can see on the health there, so it has 2,500, 2,500, and you see it has the little diamond against it. Diamond is anything that's improved by quality. So you see it's got storage 1 out of 59 because it's got 10 pieces of, as it happens, legendary platforming. But say, from what I can tell, platform itself doesn't have a further health. We're going to have a quick look. I say apologies if that's showing things. Didn't want to say. It's very difficult for me to. Yeah, it doesn't even have a thing for if it's quality. So it feels weird doing this because this was entirely remote before. Yeah, there is sort of no such thing as legendary platform itself. I guess that's partly to stop you just making, you know, indestructible platforms, basically. Wasn't it said that you'll be unable to stand on the platform itself in one of Friday Facts? Yeah, it used to be that you couldn't. If I recall correctly, it was said your character will be nested in the hub platform when you build a planet using the platform, but I might be wrong. No, say that was what they said, but they have changed it, so you can now build on them. You can now run around on them. You don't need a special spacesuit or anything like that. You know, you'd normal. I mean, I am literally armorless. You know, I've not got any armor on at all, and I'm having no health effects, etc. So, I'm also carrying around weapons. I say this is going. I think you just have to assume you're going to accidentally see spoilers. So, if you don't want that, then I'm afraid, then no harm, no foul. Feel free to go. Answer which she seed to look is obviously 42 indeed. I should have done that. Big on water is much better in my opinion. I personally have been doing this for a little while. I amped up water scale 200% every single time. Rid of space science in space. Did I hear that right? Yes. So it's not that you don't use space for science, but the specific technology of space science in space is gone, and all space science is now made in space on platforms, basically. So it's not that. It's basically what they've done is what they've really got rid of is where you launch a rocket and you get a few space science. Now you just make space science in space and drop it down, basically. So it's more that, because you make it out of asteroid stuff now. I mean, you made it out of asteroid stuff before, but you used to have to send up uranium, and you don't have to do that now. Satellites are gone. The only way to get space science to space is via the platform. That's correct. So in the base game, the hub is now in the base game. So that's one of the little tweaks that to make them consistent. When you launch a rocket, the stuff will drop down into the hub, and so the hub is in the version 2, you know, non-space age version, and that therefore means you can have your rockets way over there, and space science can drop wherever you want it to drop. So if you've got your labs, have the hub next to your labs, and you just empty it directly in, so you don't have to train space science around. So That is a significant change, I would say. True said that they got rid of the radium being part of the recipes, yeah. Shifted to the left. I was kind of disappointed when we didn't go from 2.2D to 2.3D. Quite funny. The scale I'll have 2D games adds a slope. Right first cliffs, yes, but it feels a lot like playing CNC Red Alert. It didn't really get proper depth perception, so it didn't really seem to get any taller. Yeah, there it's very much faked, basically. Hoping that trains and their wagons would get speed and storage bus with quality. We can have a look at trains, maybe. I don't remember them getting a speed buff. I don't think it is, but if I just have a look in Factoriopedia at locomotive. So health is the only thing improved by quality for locomotives. And what about carriages? Oops, I've closed that down by accident. Let's have a look at carriages, or cargo wagons rather. Yep, just base health is the only thing improved. I think it's the type of thing a mod, I guess, could do, but they're only exposing. So I'm not showing this because it is just riddled with spoilers. They're only exposing, so only certain things modders will be able to change in terms of quality. So there's only certain stuff that they can. It's more than is in the base game, I think. Although I think the diamonds are there for everything. It was a bit confusing at the land party when the devs were explaining it to me. But there's only certain properties that modders will be able to get at for like changing the quality on thing. I think they can do it for anything that they create that's new. But in terms of base stuff, they can't go in and say, excuse me, so if it's not an exposed thing in the API, then they can't change it. So if cargo wagon size, or like number of slots, isn't in the modding API, they can't change it. Obviously, they could make an entity that did have it, but they can't change the base game one. Is my understanding. It might have changed. Could you shoot the asteroids yourself? Maybe. I don't know. Let's have a look. These aren't asteroids. These are chunks, and you don't shoot chunks. I don't think I can really test that without going somewhere. Would I be able to do that in one of my saves? The trouble is setting that up would take a little while, I think. Would it? We could. The trouble is I have to build a platform. Because you need a platform to be in orbit around a planet in order to, to have asteroids. So I don't know if I could shoot them. Possibly, yeah. It would make some sense if you could. And that's why they put you on the platform. But so I don't know where I've got a platform we could easily take to another planet. And that wouldn't require quite a massive update. So I don't know on that one, I'm afraid. Be interesting if you can. By the way, thank you, Dungo, for 342 for the follow. I'm so behind on the chat. Why are we doing on time? 7:15. You're asking too many questions. I was going to show the achievements. Shall I just do that? I'm going to just say very much, kind of mute this or go away. If you are worried about spoilers, say I've tried to give lots of warnings. Some of these are related to the end game, obviously. So, if you've been avoiding that, then here's your warning that I'm going to show you the list of achievements, and it does contain spoiler things as you'd expect. Okay. Right. So, there's pretty much nothing changed. We have 38 achievements, I believe, still was what's in the base game. So there are slightly more being added for Space Age, and as I say, it's pretty much normal stuff. In terms of here's your most obvious, first one, reach for the stars, create a space platform. That's a new one. Obviously, you've got the base winning the game, launching a rocket. I think these have had an art overhaul. I don't know, someone could maybe confirm them because it's ages since I did all the achievements, but I don't remember it looking like that with a red biter. And then construction, automation, delivery. So these are all pretty much the standard. Deplete a resource patch, pathing 1,000 tiles. I say pretty much normal stuff, all your circuit ones, all your iron volume ones, power. You get one of these for every single science pack, so there are new ones for the new science packs. You know, the research. It's basically doing a research with that pack. Destroying a spawner. Oh yeah, driving over spawners, moving the trees. So I don't recognise a lot of these, so I don't know if they've changed. As in, recognise the graphics, I obviously recognise achievements. Quality module into a module. Oh, there you go. So there's one for quality. So inserting using a quality module basically. Yes, this one, logistics network group. If you just play if you literally get the game and do just play through with Space Age, and you've never played it before type of thing, you will automatically get this achievement, because the logistics network, in terms of active providers, buffers and requesters, are locked behind space science. So you have to launch a rocket to get space science, and that's an achievement that is effectively now just automatic get, whereas it used to be a bit of a challenge to get there, because you'd have to belt everything basically. So that's one that's become like super easy and basically automatic. Then we got building a Spidertron. So you got your fusion plant, and say we're getting into the proper new stuff now. So starting fusion power basically, traveling to Volgora, traveling to Gleba, traveling to Volcanus, traveling to Aquilo. That's obviously the final planet. I say fair warnings again if you are just joining that we are going to be spoiling all of these. So you've got your Module 3's production for all of the 4 of them. The reason for that is that they are all now off Nauvis. So those are not just automatic, you get there, you build the thing. Every one of those is an off-planet thing now, basically. And they have quite complicated recipes. It's actually quite a challenge to make all 3 of the module types in the sorts of volumes that we all currently use them in. And some of the recipes, as I say, do involve like complex recipes and fairly complex logistics to actually achieve. That's obviously finishing the game, which I don't think that's changed. Killed by a locomotive. It's weird what's on this, because it's obviously not my Steam profile, and I don't remember doing some of these, but maybe we did them at the LAN or something. You get 500 damage. There you go. Attack a group of pentapods using spores. So that's that's equivalent to getting attacked by biters. Disturb a demolisher by building on its territory. And here we go. We are properly into proper spoiler stuff. So if you haven't heeded that warning, the bit you don't know about is the Shattered Planet. I'm not going to talk about it today. We'll pick it up on the 21st. But you wanted to show the achievements, and obviously you do get those. As you can see from these numbers, the distance, and this is what I was saying about the distance, really, some of the distances get big for this whole Shattered Planet thing. Building the loco, 90 minutes, back to the normal type stuff, million circuits, 20 million circuits, and then you've got obviously your science, your space science pack, your metallurgic, your agriculture, your electromagnetic, and your cryogenic science pack. The one you get on Aquilo is the cryogenic science pack, and Promethium science is what you get out of the things. Anyone who was watching my stream on Sunday, and I flubbed Prometheus, the film, and I think I actually said that, Promethium, because that's why I was talking about Prometheus. It wasn't that sort of a flub, but I think I actually accidentally said Promethium. It also doesn't help that it's Warhammer 40k. Holy Promethium is what they use in Flamers basically. So yeah, I think I accidentally spoiled that. Although technically I didn't, because in the translation thing, it was in there, so it leaked beforehand. So I Research all technologies. I imagine that's a bit of a nightmare now. Obviously, that was a bit of a difficult thing already, but that must be quite a long achievement to get that one. Rush to space. Research technology using planetary science packs before unlocking production or utility science. That is going to be a real challenge one, because that really restricts what you can make basically. Because utility and I would recommend doing a lot of the military buffs in order to make, you know, the guns on your platforms more useful. And of course, they get, you know, locked behind these technologies. So, you know, you're going to have a pretty tough platform, or pretty robust and high damage platform to make it, I think. 10k trees with fire, obviously that's a new one. Destroy a cliff. Using an atomic bomb. 100 combat robots, all pretty standard stuff. Using artillery. Destroy first enemy structure. Using artillery. Destroy first. Oh yes, sorry. So I was puzzling about the phrase. This is another one that's going to be a real challenge. Basically, the phrasing there is a bit odd, but the challenge, the achievement, is that you do not kill a single enemy base until you've got artillery, and you kill it with artillery. So basically, you've got to go to Volcanus, get artillery, ship artillery stuff back to Nalvis, use it on the planet without ever having killed an enemy, a spawner, basically. So I don't know whether it lets you do it on peaceful. I'll be honest. Might give a warning. I think this is just. This is because this is the console command one, so it's disabled a lot of them. But I don't know whether it lets you do it on peaceful so that they wouldn't attack you, and if you're allowed to turn down pollution and stuff like that. I don't know what the conditions are for it, but basically, yeah, you've got to go through the entire. You can obviously kill biters. It's just the nests that you can't kill. So you've got to kind of build around everything. And the safe spawning is on. You could well end up with your entire map covered in biters before you've killed any. Kill a small demolisher. Kill a medium demolisher. Whoops. Kill a big demolisher. I don't know if that's a reveal as such, but there are 3 sizes of demolishers. The big ones are gigantic. They're like, you know, way, way bigger than your screen, basically. Look at my new shiny rare armour. Equip rare or better quality of power armour Mark II or mech armour. So this is the other big reveal. I was a bit cagey about it in my part 1 video, but mech armour is the new armour. So that's that one where you saw the claw on that video. That is a mech armour. I can show that to you if you like, but I mean you're gonna see it just slightly further down. Eat a legendary fish. You can only get legendary fish by recycling legendary spidertrons, so that is a tough achievement as well. My modules are legendary. Craft a legendary quality module 3. A lot of grind involved in that one. No room for more. Fill every tile of legendary mech armour with legendary equipment. Mech armour has a really big inventory, grid size. So filling it with legendary equipment, you know, a legendary 1 has even bigger. You know, as you get to legendary, the equipment grid is enormous, and then you've got to fill it with legendary equipment. The tip for that one is to do it with. I mean, obviously you'll probably have a few legendary bits and pieces, but solar panels basically. Fill it with solar panels. Launch a rocket to space while manually crafting no more than 111 items. It's, you know, back into the standard stuff. Getting to there without getting space without any solar. The 15 and 8 hour achievements are still there. There hasn't been a quicker thing, but you notice it says launch a rocket to space. So I don't know that these aren't actually now really simple, because you launch a rocket super early. It may be restricted only to the base game, but basically, you know, so you can't do it with Space Age, but that's actually pretty easy, I would say. I was a bit surprised at these ones. That these were in from the LAN party, because these are your speedrun ones. 40 hours and 100 hours. 100 hours, I say maybe, because I sort of assumed that this was like a change, so maybe it isn't, and maybe maybe it adapts these, or maybe because obviously people could just buy a version, you know, just buy the base game, so maybe, you know, they've renamed them. Because that was win a game, wasn't it? Or was it always launch a rocket? I think it was launch a rocket, wasn't it? But yeah, so these have become easy in a sense because it's quite far down in the tech tree. So I guess if you're playing version 2, this is still the normal level of challenge. Although obviously recipes are tweaked and stuff. And these are your speedrunning achievements for Space Age. And if you look, you know, so when I was saying Space Age is big, you know, if your achievements are 15 hours and 18 hours for the base game, these are now 140 hours. So a quick run for a normal person, not a big brain speedrunner, is what's that? That's 5 times as long. It's a big expansion, you know. And then obviously, yeah, so long and thanks for all the fish. So yeah, so that's all of the achievements. If you were kind of, I'll take this off. I guess if you had me on mute or off, then you could join back. But I imagine people left. If they didn't want to know that sort of stuff. But yes, those are all the achievements. We are coming up to 7:30, and I'm afraid I am really going to have to stop at 8. So I will try and go through chat as quick as I can. I thought I'd be showing you more stuff, but it took all the time, and I just twittering on. No graphics. Control take out modules. Oh, Dark Destiny 3, how you doing? Hope you're well. Take out modules. Control assembly instead of entering a menu to remove. Yes, so yeah, so what I can show you very quickly, because I can load up an earlier version of my, you know, the one I'm doing for the Let's Play, I think. So if we load that one up, it tells me about 1 million recipes that have changed. So this is relatively safe. What we can do, I will just check that this isn't going to pop up any, because I'm not sure I've got any. Yes, I have. Have I got my, yes, okay, so I can show you this one. So I'm now in remote view. So this is remote view, okay. It's just the map, basically. So if we look at these blue assemblers, if I wanted to put speed modules in, you can just left click, well, you've got to be holding one, obviously. So if you just, because this is the ghost picker, and that's the whole point of it, you pick ghosts. And so you can put a module in, and put a module in. Oh, of course it's not appropriate for that one. I guess I could put in, I don't know, efficiency or something. So it then assigns those. Those are ghost assigned for a bot to do. There are no bots on this map, so they're not going to come and do anything, but because it's earlier on. But it does this little symbol, you know, for the, I think that's, you know, in the game already, where it tells you it's waiting on these modules. But yeah, you can do it entirely remotely now. So you can just tell it, please put quality modules in for me. And if you want to take them out, you just click away. If they're already in there, you know, they just get marked with an X, and the bots will come and remove them. And you can do it replace, you can do upgrade with it. It's all completely remotely done. So it's really nice doing that. And you do get into a mode eventually of just, you know, I'm doing absolutely everything remotely. It just eventually it clicks into a thing where it's like, oh, I need to do something on Volcanus, and you go and do, you know, 2 hours and you've not even moved your character, sort of thing. It really does get into that mode. Oh, but you asked about control click, didn't you? So, whoops. Sorry, that was a slightly different question. So, if I do, I think you can, is the answer. Sorry, I was slightly answering the easier question there. Yeah, there you go. So that's just control clicking them in. I think you have to go in to do edits, maybe? Will it let me upgrade? Oh, I can't even do. No, so it won't let me like edit them as such. Did I control click them out? No, didn't look like it. So you can do it just with control, you know, held down, just to do it remotely. Sorry. So that was your question, and the answer is yes. Is the build you're on intended to be release build, except with bug fixes? I've noticed they seem to have still been doing changes until very recently. The answer is both. Gnutrino, that's a great name. Didn't spot it to start with. Yes, so basically it's what they call a release client. So it is the version 2 of the game. I might even be able to quickly show you the patch notes, given that we've just had a massive section on spoilers. How would I get at that without? I think I need to be in the about, don't I? Which, shall we risk it for a biscuit? I'm a bit nervous about that. Hang on. Because say it shows you the animations in the background. So if I just go about change log. Yeah, so I'm going to obviously show you the change log. It's enormous. It would take you, if not days, then hours, you know, to read it. Other way around. If not hours, then days to read it. Yeah, so this is obviously the change log, and it just goes on and 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 on. Obviously, it's divided up into stuff, so you've got GUI changes and stuff like that. And it does tell you the versions that, where changes have happened. And I think this is since my last version, isn't it? So, so if I do it since 1.1... So yeah, you can see what they've done, basically. And say, I mean, maybe all of this won't be in it. I don't know. I would have thought so, because the whole point is it's a change log, isn't it? Things that have changed. But yeah, this is all of the changes since 1.1. And you probably have a few of those in the base game, because I think it includes the minor releases. But yeah, so yeah, lots and lots and lots. One for debug even. I say, so if you're that interested in it, then you can continue. So if I think I better do out of that. Can I show you that? Oh, I didn't actually spawn in. Actually, let's do that. If I load up the, can I load up the test one? And then if I go to Novice, there we go. So which is the biolab? It's 5 by 5 by 5, I think. There. Yeah. So if I just show you, wait, can I show you that? I don't think I can. Just trying to get away from. There you go. So this is the biolab. It isn't. This is the synthetic biter spawner. Whoops, sorry. But yeah, they've just called it the biolab, and eventually the graphics will be in. It's functional and does exactly what it's meant to do, but that's 5 by 5, isn't it? So can I? Is it 5 by 5? I'm just trying to think again. If I just sort of whack some boxes around it or something like that. Oops. There you go. 5 by 5, basically. So I have to assume that the real biolab is going to be that big. But yeah, even when I hover over it, it tells you stuff. So it's just not designed for, not having spoilers, basically. I noticed that doing changes to actually. Yeah, so they are changing stuff still, yeah, as well. So it is a release client, but they are making changes and tweaks. One of the big ones was just, literally, might have been last night or today, the tungsten belt became turbo belt, basically. I'm kind of hoping for a bit of graphic update too. You're welcome to ignore this question, but where in the UK are you from? I have a bit of a fascination regional accent. So I am technically from Huddersfield in Yorkshire. That's Yorkshire. Sorry, Huddersfield in Yorkshire. That's where I was born. But I grew up basically in a place called Dartford, which is in the southeast of England. So Huddersfield in Yorkshire is in the north of England. I say we moved there when I was 2, I think. My sister was born down south, and then I basically spent my entire life down south. But it does mean, because my parents had a very strong, or pretty strong Yorkshire accent, so I don't speak normal for a southerner. It's sort of a weird mix of borderline Cockney and some northern vowels, basically. I do hear new sound effects though, Rocket Knight Chronicles. So one of the sound effects ones they've done is everything has, I keep opening the inventory, don't I, and showing you stuff by accident. But everything has like a noise associated with it in your inventory. I find some of them a bit annoying, in particular circuit networks. It's really annoying hearing the buzzing noise they've chosen, but I'm hoping I'll get used to it. Good so far. Is that taking questions from YouTube chat? A different chat you stream to. So I'm streaming both to Twitch and YouTube, so I'm looking at both chats. So is the shortcut for opening the Factorio toggle the normal toggle the normal alt mode? No, so they fixed that a while ago actually. I always thought, because it used to be that if you did any command that had alt in it, it turned on or off alt mode. But if you do a proper command, if you hit alt and something that doesn't mean anything, then it does do alt mode. But any kind of alt clicking or alt right clicking or Shift Alt clicking or what have you, it doesn't flip Alt mode, so you don't have to rebind it. I always used to rebind it to Alt GR, so I didn't accidentally do it. But no, Alt button is so used that you need to either rebind that or just learn to use it, sort of thing. Then you can read through the question. Question once he's through the key bindings. Makes sense. Oh wow, I'm a long way behind on this, isn't I? I think it's just. I think just to tell me. Oh dear, there's loads and loads of questions. I hadn't realised the YouTube bar is only about a third of the way down. See how quickly I can get through these. It makes sense. The factory down here. Music controls are new. I remember they mentioned it in the front effects. Yeah. Is there an info menu that explains how the space age mechanic work in Factorio? That's Factoriopedia, basically. Is it possible to control disable the different sounds for picking up items out of the inventory? Not that I know of. No, you can control the volume because it's associated with other things, but it is associated with other things. So you can't do individual ones as far as I'm aware. Someone on Reddit was plugging a mod that does that. Okay, so there you go. Which planet has your favourite music? My favourite music, crikey. I think possibly Aquilo. I quite like it. I would actually say like the space music is probably my favourite. Although it's obviously not a planet, but yeah, I think possibly the Aquilo music is there. That or Volcanus. But Volcanus is a bit epic in place. It's a bit sort of like listening to some gigantic, multi-million blockbuster soundtrack while you're just sort of making a cup of tea. It goes a bit mad in places. I mean, I like it. I really like the music, but it's a bit sort of like you suddenly realise that it's as if a sort of choir of angels is descending upon the planet, and it's like you're just like mining some belt. It's just sort of it can be a little discordant in that way, but. Yeah, I mean, the only one I say I don't like is Falgoro, and it's just because of the type of music is, and I don't think it's it's not bad. It's just it's sort of like experimental jazz and electronica, and it just does my nutting. Which planet is your favourite? Yeah, so not my cup of tea, or as the Americans say, not my can of Coke. Is that it's the equivalent, is it? The auto colouring for trains is called too. I have not really used that, so I haven't really used interrupting yet. So it's something that system I need to learn, really. I expect it to take longer between planets. Yes, it is surprisingly quick. It's because the first time you go, you've got to go. So if they had you sit there for an hour while it travelled, you'd be like... And also when you get there, it's dangerous. So you kind of don't want to, say, do it in the background. And then you come back to the game and it's destroyed your platform, basically. Going to sit on the rocket instead of going from planet to planet. You can sit on the rocket. I mean, platforms is all completely remote. You don't have to, you don't have to be on them. It's just like a train, basically. That's the equivalent of being a train. Doesn't show in the video suggest that this is a very small solar system. Yeah, it's tiny. It is ridiculously small. It's also completely static. The planets don't change the distance between them. I've no idea whether a mod could add that. It could be quite interesting, but you don't have to do slingshot it. It has no orbital mechanics in it at all. What's the most useful item to make quality versions of early on? Solar panels, basically, because and anything that relates to like platforms. So quality gun turrets are pretty cool for protecting your first platforms. But basically, if it relates to platforms, I would, so. Just get a couple of quality modules in your solar panel maker, and it just saves you so much room, basically. But then after that, power armor stuff, so legs and batteries and things like that, and even just a couple of levels of quality from what you can get from the normal stuff. From the the first module is just more useful. And particularly if you've not seen my reveal, the tank is remote controllable, so I can't do it on this map. I can switch over and show you the remote control tank. If you've not seen that on my video, we will load that up. So if I just load up that one, that's probably fine. Actually, do you want to see this? This is just the notification of them changing some of the recipes, basically. So they keep fiddling with the recycling stuff because of the changes in recipes. So this one appears all the time because obviously anything you recycle has a recycle recipe. But yeah, so basically, it's things like this. Is a lot of changes doing. So biter eggs has become biter egg as a recipe. So it's just a name change. But tungsten becomes turbo. Basically, is the example. So yes, if you've not seen my video, tanks are now remote controllable. So you just click on tank, drive remotely, and here we are. We are controlling the tank from the map. It has to be in in radar range. So if I go up here, and I can shoot with it, so I've got the flamer on, so you can shoot. Obviously, if I had pods, grenades or anything like that, I can't fire them. I'm on my own. But if I just drift into this area here, you should notice the noise cuts out because it's gone out of my control. Oh no, it's not gone out of my control. They've changed that. You can now drive them in the fog of war. Interesting. We're not getting view on it though, are we? So it doesn't have a radar in it. It used to cut off. You couldn't control it. I guess that was just because it was just so annoying. Because you'd be fighting the biters on the edge of the thing and suddenly your tank would go off and suddenly you've killed your tank. That's interesting. When did they change that? Unless it was just my incompetence, and you could always do it. But yes, basically, because they are basically Spidertron level 1, so you now have an equipment grid. And you can put in, and it's a pretty big equipment grid. Yeah. So sticking, legendary, not legendary, but quality lasers and quality shields in here to help it survive better is a really good use case for stuff. I'm going to hop out of the tank. Oh, and you can run yourself over. Your character is still there, so you can run yourself over. Version of 5x5. I think that must have been about the Biolab 5x5 for Biochamber is 3x3. Yeah, so Biochamber is definitely 3x3. Auto remote tanks will be cool. But red alert. Quick panel is nice. P1 is not. It's panel. Hello from US. Did the devs incorporate any hello B Brenny, by the way, sorry. Any sort of story background for why the engineer crash landed? Not explicitly, but it is implied by the thing that happens that is the end game. I'll de-spoiler that, even though I have spoiled it already in this. There's an implication. I mean, when there are a ridiculous number of asteroids in the system, and it's clearly the engineer hit an asteroid or got hit by an asteroid. Why they're even in the system is not given any explanation, but I'm probably going to do lots of videos about lore and theory crafting because it's quite fun now, piecing things together. Legendary Tier 5 space platform. What does Legendary do for a platform? It just increases the health, that's it. How do the space platforms work? I'm afraid I'm going to have to... welcome Traffic Man, hello, but I'm going to have to refer you to the second of my videos that will come out by the weekend. It'll give basically because I got loads of questions on the platforms, and I'll give you a bit of a rundown of how they work. It is a bit confusing. I guess I could show you since we're in this map. Yeah, so this is the platform menu. Okay, this one is set to match requests from the platform. Okay, there is one platform in orbit, and it clearly has a request for 50. Oh, it doesn't. This is one of the weird things with it. It rounds up the requests because you can't, when you do automated, the requesting for space platforms, you can't do mixed stack sizes. It always requests the thing. It's a bit annoying, if I'm honest, because if we go up to the platform, it doesn't need 50 blue assemblers. It just always sends a rocket load. Early stages, I wouldn't use the automated like I've got here. But you basically use... You see it's got the construction request. And this is another thing with it. It's requesting all of these be sent up. Yeah? Even though it can't actually build the thing because it's all ghosted. So that's one of it. But it's basically logistics groups that you do platforms with. You basically set them on the planet that you want. And then you've got all sorts of conditions. So obviously we can't go anywhere because in this save I've not done the research. But it's got interrupts as well, like a train. But basically, you would give it some conditions, and it has extra conditions, basically. So these request things, that is the logistics requests. Yeah, so these are logistics requests, and that's like the primary way of doing things. You can, as I say, do circuit networks here, but they're conditions. So basically, if you've got some... Oh, shouldn't be showing you that. If you've got some circuit network set up, then it's doing it. Now, I think, I'd say they might have added the ability to communicate via circuit networks. Yeah, no, I can't see it on there. But things like that, you see. So if you want it to go home when it's taken a certain amount of damage, home being back to Nalvis, that's the type of thing you would read out of a circuit network and do a condition based on that. So I don't know why it's not. I guess it would need to be connected to something else, but you can do circuit related things, but as far as I'm aware, you still can't communicate with circuit conditions between the planets, basically. So yes, it's like a train, you see. It's just like running a train. But it's a train that responds to logistics request, essentially. And I think you can actually do them in trains. But yeah, you see, so it's automatically requesting all this stuff. And back on Nalvis, it's now about to send those blue assemblers up. So it'll probably now flip to a different request. Will it? No, you're not going to request. Okay. It is weird. I don't sometimes understand what's going on myself. But I don't know why it's not requesting. Why is it not requesting? No. I guess not enough to fill one rocket. So that must mean there's not enough in our logistics system to fill one rocket, which makes sense because there's absolutely nothing in that inventory. Yeah, so it won't. It is like they've tried to make it sort of safeguarded and stuff like that, but basically, you automate it. Now, if you don't want it doing that, you just turn that off, and you can manually put in what you want. And I would probably do that, with the exception of the platform bits. I would probably do that for rockets because I've just sent 50 assemblers up when I only want one. Because it always rounds off the inventory to the thing when you do the auto. But this, I can do whatever I want. So I can literally put in a bit of coal, a bit of wood, a bit of stone, all really useful stuff in a platform. An iron plate, and you see the weights going up. Yeah, so you can put in whatever you want manually. And then you would just hit launch. Obviously, I can't launch because I haven't got a rocket. This is the buffer, basically. So this is the one it's going to send, this is the one it's making next. So you can have them buffered up and queued, and the animation is quicker. So you can really pump them out. Travel to space is how I get into space. So if there was a rocket there, I would get in. If it has any inventory, you can't travel. If you have any inventory, you can't travel. New space platform, what you do to make new platforms is, you can do it a couple of ways, but if you get the starter pack, which is this thing here, okay, that is your hub, and it also gives you a few free foundations because it has them in it. And basically, you put one in, and then you've got this new space platform, allows you to name it, and then it will launch. You launch it to actually create it with that platform. So that side of it's really easy now. It was a bit weird before, but that's it basically. So this menu has undergone, as I understand it, at least a dozen versions because it's something everyone says it's unintuitive, it's a bit difficult. And they just keep iterating on it, and that's the current version. So that may well not be in the final version. I am spending far too long answering each of these questions, aren't I? I think we're all here for spoilers. Yeah. Then I showed it, showcased it really on the recent video. Traffic Man, if you want to see. Yeah, so get that. Thanks. I think you need to hide spoilers. You already want spoilers? No, we want the juicy stuff. So I'm trying to be relative. I'm hoping I'll be able to cut this up and use it later. I don't think I will, but that makes me a bit sad. I was looking forward to uranium being crucial to science. I'm not saying it's not crucial to science, just that it's not part of space science in space. Can you show Max Cliffs, please? That should be an easy one to do. Let's just pop that on, and then exit, quit, single player, new game, preview that, doot, and then terrain, and then max cliffs. Maximum Clifford. Maximum Clifford. We quickly do that. I can pop that across there. Maximum Clifford. So that's max cliffs, basically. So if I do a few... wait. Okay. A few random seeds. So you see they start to look like mountains. You know, you might have seen those on volcanoes, basically. It's clearly the same code, essentially. Yeah. But even there, you see, this is max cliffs. And it's not just completely filling the map with useless cliffs. These would be quite annoying, I think, to play with, but you've still got big open areas. That's a really good example of the paths and stuff I was talking about. Yeah, where it's like, you know, you could imagine animals traveling down these paths and drinking in this water and stuff like that. It's really sort of evocative to me. But yeah, that's max cliffs. That's an easy one. Can you remove every type of landfill? The foundation for volcanoes. Remove them. Oh yes, so yes, when you've placed them, yeah, you can take them away. Just want to say the quality of your content is excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you for being channel. That's very kind. Thank you. Shalitis, Spartan Warriors, funny how I saw your channel ages ago, June time, and you were talking about 2.0 emulation using mods, and I was talking about space exploration. Now here we are with you playing the real deal, indeed. Right, you don't start the stream engines for power. How does that work? You have to unlock them. They are part of the new system of... you have to do a thing to unlock them. So to get steam engines, I think you have to craft 10 bits of iron plate. There's quite a few recipes like that. So green circuits are not available from the beginning. You have to craft 10 bits of copper, I think it is. So another one is the steel axe. The steel axe is not a research. It is just you making 50 steel, I think, just gives you that research. So there's quite a few trigger techs, they call them, and you have to do a thing. How can you research it without power? Let's go. So the weapon in slot 3. Yeah, so I think I might have actually shown you some of that. I think one of them's place up. I don't think that's what it's going to look like. Space Science is basically free now. No, so you have to actually make it. One time setup cost, then infinite packs. No, so you make it out of asteroid chunks now, basically. You can only go to running around on platform via editor, though. Running around on platform via editor, though. Oh, is it really? Is it editor only? Oh, that's interesting. Don't know if you've already done this, but I'm more interested in looking at train interrupts. Really, I thought that's what I thought it was running around on the map one, wasn't it? Interesting. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Whoops. I think you just saw some things there. Don't know if you've already done this, but I'm interested in looking at the train interrupts. The circuit conditions, pass-through stations. Not going to have time for that one, I'm afraid. Is it technically and visually possible to move from planet to platform and platform to planet? Basically just fly. So it's just like sitting on a train almost. Spawn some from editor. Okay. I guess that was for the asteroids, wasn't it? I didn't think about that. Fergal. Big spoiler time. Curious about the available achievements like lazy bleeper steam on the way. No, all about achievements. As someone who's trying to spoil as much as possible, I wish there was a wiki or just the Factorio to look through before release. Not all of them right, technically. What's mech armor? Yes, so that's the new armor type. It was already launch a rocket. No satellite fish required. It's really no enemies on Factorio then. It's just a chill, lonely existence. Yeah, it's very desolate. I mean, it's very in keeping with, the fact that it's a dead civilization. You got to think about it in that terms. I would say it's very much this is the leftover of their planet, and it's more. I don't know. Old Wormy Boy going there would have like really been June. It really feels like that a lot of the time. But as I say, sort of a civilization that has been dead millions of years type of thing. There was always a launch rocket, no satellite fish required. So that's about the achievement. So there was always enemies on Falgora then. Done that one. Lightning. Yes, lightning is the threat, basically. And you move really slow in the oil sand. And that's kind of the idea, I think, of like restricting you a bit, because if you want to run between plateaus and you get trapped out at night and you're stuck in all this really slow oil sand, you can get hit like 3 or 4 times. And if you've not got shields on, that will kill you, basically. So that's the threat. but it's not that difficult. It's very chill compared to the other planets. It's one of the reasons I like it, actually. Lightning looks like it's friendly if it wants to amass power and base. No real enemy applied to sort of trees. I put it in the video. I think I put it in that one, but remember the little tree things on Fulgora? That is Fulgurite, but it gives you holmium, and holmium is really, really like rare and difficult to get. So hoover them up whenever you find them. I saw you live. I just wanted to say, love your videos. Carry on. Oh, thank you very much, V. Very kind. Supreme call. How good is it to ship spoilable items off Gleba? Getting Gleba science packs to Alvis in time to use them in Biolab seems like it could be a pain. It's actually pretty easy. That it's not really. If you can set up the infrastructure to do. Oh, camera had a moment there. If you can set up an infrastructure to do rockets, it's not a problem. You might want to get like a fast ship and stuff to do it as a direct route, but it's not actually a problem. It's the spoilage for the science isn't really a bad thing for the science packs. It's more the intermediate items and some other things that spoil. What we got? So depends which. Some of them spoil over mere minutes, some of them over hours. There you go. So it's true then that you guys are all just co-Rex's past. Barely a game for him, and he just so happens to be allowed to play it too. My word's coming back to bite me on the bum there. Oh, it auto refreshed then because I'm getting so far behind. And you're all harassing V now. Or V numbers, as I believe is your proper name. Let's see if a community. I think I'm just going to have to skip that because it is literally 5 minutes left. Let's see what I've ignored Twitch for ages now. Non-constructive. Oh dear. Oh, shut the door behind you. Can you still place walls on platforms? I don't know, actually. I think they've been nerfed to the degree that actually it's like pointless. Most streamers still on Nowvis, so no procedural music yet. Well, I think the procedural music is on Nowvis. Hi, Solben, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Dave, you're still there. Radar and Solo with your bots, indeed. I've missed so many of the questions. Sorry about that. I was kind of thinking because it's random Tuesday afternoon that none of you are there. Oh, hello, Daniel. Hope you're well. More about a couple of internal releases ages ago. Merged a big thing that I'm going to have to look through back to this chat on it because I really have to go because otherwise there's no content coming from me later in the week. It feels weird. I'll try and pick up. I might pick some of these up in the version 2 video because I haven't even recorded most of that. Is this game Turbo? I'm just trying to see if there's a few I can knock off. The two I wanted to cover were the achievements and the keybinds, as I say, because they're sort of. I don't know that would be very good on a video. So we got that covered. I'm going to scroll right to the chat. If you've got really pressing questions you want to answer, and thank you for all the follows and that on the thing, then shout now, as it were, because we've got like 2 minutes left, I'm afraid. Could do another one of these, but so I want to do the videos. Factorio and Space Age achievements are separate, I believe so. As in, well, you can get normal achievements. So if you just launch it and you're playing Space Age from the start, then it does tick off the normal achievements. I think some of them might be, as I say, one of them's super, super easy, but I don't know about others being impossible. Hydrate, yes, I've been talking almost constantly. What planet has your favourite music? I said that earlier. Probably, well, space probably is my favourite, but probably, yeah, Volcanus maybe. But say I think Space Safe is kind of my favourite. Fake music. Pressing question: how do Spidertrons automatically building other planets work? You just move them over there, basically. So you use the remote control, and to move the Spidertrons around. They need to be obviously equipped with, roboports and have bots on them and logistics requests. You need full-on base. They're still pretty much a late-game thing, which if you see my comments around the Glebber thing, that was kind of the problem, that it's giving you something that's awesome, but it's late game, and it's like, well, why would I go for that first? Gotta go, thanks for the stream. Did I see some other questions? Separate. Thank you all for joining me. I say so many of you. I know it's most likely productivity, but higher quality science over be available rather than just making more. You can do quality. You can do quality science. It's sort of a bit pointless. It's just like, because all you get out of it is more science. And of course, you've probably gone through a loop of like throwing a load of materials away. Do you know what I mean? So you've sort of wasted a load of stuff that you could have turned into science. So, it's sort of like, press the like button. Yes, I know. I don't encourage people to do it. I should do more, shouldn't I? But yeah, like buttons, follows, and subscribes, and all that sort of stuff is very much appreciated. But I think we are coming up to time now. Press the word high quality science ever. Yeah, that's what I said there already. Yeah, thank you very much. Question. So they're automatically placed when you send them. Oh, you mean getting them out of the ship? I mean, everything goes into the hub, basically, and the bots will empty things out. So, and they effectively, therefore, become part of the logistics system. So in the same way that you can remotely build a Spidertron, you can do them. But as they showed in the Friday Facts, you can blueprint Spidertrons and just stick them down, basically. So if you want an army of Spidertrons, you can just put them down as blueprints. But it's a single Spidertron per rocket. So getting Spidertrons, I mean, it's a single Spidertron in your inventory stack, I think, isn't it? They don't stack in there as such. But getting, if you want 10 Spidertrons on another planet sort of thing, and you're building them in one place, then, you've got to send 10 rockets. So it can be quite logistically intensive and time consuming. But obviously once they're there, so you don't really need to bother. But a lot, Spidertrons as a building platform, to me, have kind of lost a lot of their appeal, because you just cover your base with roboports and you can do everything. And the tweaks to the bots just mean they're a bit smarter and a bit less, why is that bot trying to fly across the road, across the river to, I was going to say road, flying across the river to place that when it, it can't possibly make it. They don't do that sort of thing anymore. I've under a gun. That's great. Can you control tanks on other planets? Yep, you can just remote control anywhere, basically. So you have to be there to start a planet. You have to first, to discover a planet, you have to go there, basically. So you don't necessarily. Well, you would have to drop, I think, because it doesn't reveal the map until you drop. I think. Is that right? But you can basically put the hub down. You can go with nothing. This is one of the things that they did in. So my teammates, they went to Glebber with nothing. They had literally, they didn't have a hub, and they didn't have, the parts for a rocket or a silo or anything. So they literally bootstrapped it from the beginning. And I didn't, didn't speak up, but I was like, wait, you've gone there without anything? Isn't that a bit sort of hard? Don't you want to take a few bits with you? But there you go. But eventually, they bootstrapped it all up. Although eventually did start getting stuff delivered. So yeah. Love Tank, you just reviewed, I guess, scheduled. Oh yes, it's gone live. So 8 o'clock, the part 2 of the Let's Play has gone live. There should be one every day. It will not catch us up. We will be doing the streams, and there will be episodes left. So they will come out basically when I'm on holiday and I get a chance to edit them. So you'll get like 5 of them, which only gets you to Blue Science, I think. So it's just a time thing. It's just taking me so long to do everything that, and I have a job, and unfortunately my job is not happy when I spend all day messing about editing Factorio videos. So yeah, you'll have to complain to my manager, basically. Logistics GUI. I could just quickly show that up, and then that's probably the last thing. Unfortunately, I can mess about with that. I should have put it on that other one. But yeah, oh crikey, I resized that by accident. That's not gone well. There we go. No, I have resized it somehow. There we go. So do that, and then let's pick up all of this. Load game. I assume you mean when you say logistics GUI, you mean the one on the L key? Which is that one. So yeah, we will leave it there. I'm afraid I didn't get a lot of the questions. Sorry about that. I would try and maybe hoover them up at some point. But yeah, I'm afraid if I didn't get to your questions, sorry about that. I wasn't quite expecting the level of questions. I sort of assumed you'd all watched a load of streams of videos that had spoiled it all for you. So yeah. So this is the logistics GUI. Obviously, in this network, it's telling me there's 59 roboports, and you know, these are the members, as in the things that are sort of, shall we say, like logistically active. So I've got a lot of inserters hooked up to the network. And then obviously you've got your lists of items. For me, this is actually like really useful. I mean, not this stage because it's obviously quite early game, but when it does the menu over here and you're looking at your logistics network, it always goes off the bottom of the screen and you can't scroll it properly. So having this where you can see what's in your network if you need to. And I often need to because I don't organise myself very well. But as you can see there, I've got like 22 uncommon solar panels, for example. So I'm doing a little bit of quality. But there you go. So yes, so I'm afraid that's it for today. I usually stream Saturdays and Sundays doing Factorio content. I usually start at 3 o'clock British Summer Time and go for 3 hours. I will not be streaming this weekend, however. So I might have my schedule. Oh, there you go. So we've just done the 15th, the Q&A live stream. A second Q&A video will be going up by Sunday. I'm sorry that's a lot later than it should be, but as I say, I discovered that all of my audio was not of the standard I wanted, so I want to redo the record, which is probably what I'll be doing after this stream, and then it's however long it takes to edit it, basically. I've also got a Let's Play series on the go. That is starting from the beginning, but the reason I'm doing it as a Let's Play is partly to edit out spoilers. And when you watch it, you'll realise what I was going on about when I'm not going to change based on the embargo change, because you know I was basically halfway through it and already trimming things out. So, but I'm also obviously cutting out the boring bits. So where I'm just building a smelting array and stuff like that, that's gone. So you don't have to sit through 6 hours of me building, you know, smelting arrays and stuff like that. That's all chopped out. So that's why it says Let's Play. But what we'll be doing, so with no streams this weekend because I'm having to go away. But then 21st, 22nd and 23rd, I'll be doing a planet a day, basically. So this actual save file that's on, or you saw at the end there, I'll be taking that to the point where we can do platforms, and I will be taking the platform to whichever planet you pick. So there is a poll up on my community page where you can pick which planet we go to first, and we'll go in like preferred order. So whichever you've put as the most voted for, we'll do on the 21st, second on the 22nd, 23rd on the 23rd. I now have leave on the 22nd and 23rd, so I can make those longer streams, basically. Not too much longer, but well, I say that I might do like a good long stream. That does mean whatever we go to on the 21st, the plan was to go, you see, to go there for a couple of hours, come back, go there for a couple of hours, come back. Yeah. So what I might do instead is just continue on the 21st, and then we'll at some point go to the second planet. So I can now stream properly on those 2 days. Not the 21st though. I am locked into a work thing there. So yeah. So that's all of my content plans. I say there's a bunch of videos and stuff that are coming out on my YouTube channel. Slower than I'd like, you know, sort of apologies for that. But I do this really as a bit of fun and a hobby around my work. And sometimes my work is quite intensive. And it didn't help as I keep moaning that all of my family has decided to have their birthdays in October. It's very inconsiderate. But yes, so yes, that's it for me. Thank you all for joining me. Very, you know, lovely to see so many of you in the chat and asking questions. I will try and pick some of them up, as I say, in that Q&A video too, which I say I'm going to be recording stuff for again. And maybe you can come join me on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd and ask those questions if you're not already playing the game or playing the expansion. So yeah, so if you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.